Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Live Healthy Now. I have a lovely guest joining me today to chat about something that I'm sure many of you haven't ever given consideration to when it comes to building strong health and well-being. Today I have joining me Jana Osta, and she is a hypnotherapist, a kundalini yoga teacher and a holistic life coach. And we're going to be exploring the topic of hypnosis and how you might not be aware that it's already playing a role in your day-to-day life and your health and well-being. Now, Jana is also a TEDx speaker, and she spoke lovely on this topic in her talk that she did recently, standing on that little red dot on the stage in Ireland. So well done for that, and welcome to the podcast, Jana.
Thank you. So lovely being here today. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great to have you here, and I'm excited to explore the topic of hypnosis and find out a little bit about Kundalini yoga as well. So, to kick us off, I just want to find out from you what your most impactful healthy habit is that helps you to feel strong and well each day.
Well, it's not a surprise considering our topic that it's meditation.
Right.
It's really, I think it's been the tool that just keeps me anchored no matter what, just keeps me present with myself, allows me to come back to myself, allow me to just tune in and notice what's happening. And irrespective of how chaotic and crazy my day is, those few breaths, even if it's 5 minutes, can really turn things around for me.
Oh, brilliant. And is that the form of meditation that you enjoy most, the breath work?
Not necessarily. I love chanting. I love deep visualizations. I love definitely breathwork techniques. So very diverse in the meditations that I do. It's always like whatever comes my way, I take it and I go with it. But it's a daily practice. That's really the most important thing for me. Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, and I'm sure we'll be tapping into a bit more about that as we explore the topic today. So, to kick us off then, with the TEDx talk that you gave on hypnosis, tell us a bit then about what that is, because I think that's a really, good introduction into why we're talking about hypnosis today.
Yeah, thank you for that, and thank you for your nice words. So really, when I came up with this topic idea, it wasn't about, a lot of people believe that to experience hypnosis, you have to be in a controlled kind of environment where you go into a therapy room or maybe you're around a hypnotist, and that's the time where you experience being hypnotized. A lot of people believe that it is someone on the outside, maybe waving their hands or snapping their fingers, and you're hypnotized. And my talk was actually exploring and sharing how actually we already live our life in a hypnosis um, on a day-to-day basis. So it was actually sharing things from my own life where I kind of suddenly woke up and felt like, whoa, I've been in a hypnosis for so long, acting in a certain way, believing certain things, and living life in a certain way that is very hypnotic and that is very programmed. And my talk just brings that into the light, that hypnosis is something you already could be under. You are, and we all are in a way or another hypnotized to believe certain things and to live in a certain way, and how it is our role on a day-to-day basis to wake up from that hypnosis so we see truth and so we see reality and we see our potential and live life to our best potential. There's so much I can talk about, so this is a brief overview, but you give me your questions and we'll go with it.
Yeah, so with the term hypnosis, because I think that's what someone listening is probably thinking, oh, this is a bit strange and different to what I've heard and seen hypnosis to be. And you touched on that, it's something we've believed you have to be put under almost a spell, that
Yeah.
state of being out of conscious awareness in your subconscious, and then you can be controlled by somebody else. And that's the side that's portrayed on TV and in the movies and so on. So just to simplify what it is, you've touched on it a little bit, but can you explain it in layman's terms for someone listening?
Well, if you imagine, I mean, we've all seen stage hypnosis or hypnosis for entertainment, let's say, and you all maybe have seen a hypnotist put someone under, a hypnotic spell, if you want to say it, and suddenly they're quacking like a duck. Right? Or barking like a dog. And how come that is happening, right? They are acting and behaving in a certain way, right? Because they believe that they are a duck, or they believe that they are a dog, or they believe that so with a lot of conviction that this is who I am, and suddenly they're quacking like a duck. And if you think about your own life, there are so many things that we do because we believe that this is how it should be. So if I live, I'm gonna give some examples. So a lot of people suffer with attracting the right partner, for example. And we live in certain behavior where it's like, I cannot attract that partner that I want. I'm not good enough. I'm not loved enough. And we start to believe it and we start to behave it. And it starts to become part of our life. It becomes who we are. I become that person who just does not attract the right partner ever. I only attract the worst partners, right? So this is a hypnosis, because the hypnosis in that perspective is me believing something about myself so much that I'm not good enough, and it actually manifesting into reality in my life, and I become that person and my life becomes that way, right? Although it's completely not true. You're not a duck, you don't need to quack, right? And it's not true that you're not good enough. You can attract the person that you desire, that your heart desires. So hypnosis is the subconscious beliefs about ourselves that starts to dictate how we behave and how we live our life. I spoke about relationship because it's something that everyone can relate to. It could be anything relating to career, relating to your belief about your body, about your potential, about how you're meant to live, about your health, about healing. Any belief that you have about yourself, when it becomes this is who I am, then you are programmed to believe it. You are under a spell of believing that this is reality. So
That
this
makes
is a
total sense. Yeah. You've explained that really well. And what I really loved about what you've said there, and when we chatted previously, Jana, is this isn't a, like the angle of how you approach these beliefs that we all have and how we live isn't something that I'd come across before. I totally have and use what you've just explained there in my coaching. That's what most coaches apply, is working with their clients on those limiting beliefs, those things that sit in their subconscious, which have been programmed in quite often from early childhood, that are running the show, basically, aren't they? They're running your life. But the way you describe it as hypnosis is very interesting. I think it wraps it up, kind of ties the bow on the top of it, if you like, because anyone who works and is in this kind of sector of coaching or self-improvement will understand about the subconscious mind and how it works. But you have this new approach to it, as I say, that just kind of makes you think, yeah, it is almost like that hypnotic state of not being aware. And I heard on your talk that you gave the analogy of a car, and I think that's so simple for people to relate to and understand. Is when we are all learning to drive, we're very conscious as we're learning, we're thinking about the mirror, the maneuver, the shifting gears, if you're learning a manual like most of us in Europe have to do, and you're really having to be very, very present and conscious and thoughtful of the process that you're going through to learn how to drive that car. But then over time, driving a car becomes very natural and automatic. And I'm sure if you're listening, there's been many times you've arrived at work and gone, oh, how did I get here? And that journey from home to work, or maybe somewhere else that you've had that realization about, it's just passed without you being consciously aware of the fact that you're driving the car and you're having to go through that process to make it move and get to your destination. And so, like you say, that's something that's then playing out in so many areas of our life. And I see this a lot with clients around, their food and their eating behaviours and habits, in that they say, I don't know why I do it. And habits sit within all of this, isn't it? Because our habits are the things that are automatic in our subconscious that create those actions and behaviours that we all have. And they make up such a big part of what we do every day. So when you're working with your clients or you're explaining this to people, is there something that usually comes up which someone has that penny drop moment about and goes, oh God, yes, I see what you mean now, Jean. I can see how that hypnotic state is impacting me in my life?
100%. Because it all goes back to, I always say our parents, bless them, but they're the biggest hypnotists of all. Not knowing when we are young, when between the ages of 0 to 8, our mind is like a sponge, right? And when the mind is like a sponge, if someone's gonna say you're a duck, you're gonna believe it. Oh, I'm a duck and I'm gonna act like a duck. If someone says, now this is a joke, but if someone says more serious things like, you have to try harder, you're not doing enough, or does not give you a hug when you do something good, all of those things that our parents do, consciously or unconsciously, but not only our parents, society, culture, things that we're exposed to at a very young age, they really are dictating how we're living as adults, probably for the rest of our lives, until we notice the pattern. We're like, whoa, okay, I just realized that, yes, this repeated pattern has been going on for so long, ever since my mom on that day told me those words that really hurt, and I took them as the truth, and now I started to live by them as my truth, and they started dictating who I am as an adult, until I opened my eyes and saw the pattern, and then I'm able to break the pattern and shift it into something more truthful towards my soul, truthful towards who I really am. So there's always an aha moment in realizing that there is a pattern that we're living in since childhood, most of the times, and most of our limitations, most of our fears, most of our anxieties, they come from those past learnings, from those past ways that we've learned how to live life and who we're meant to be. So yeah, it's always beautiful seeing people realize why they are the way they are, and that they have the power to change.
That's the key as well, isn't it? That they have the power to change. And this is something that I've actually done a lot of work on personally. And my journey with this started about 16, 17 years ago when I was pregnant, actually. I started to work with a business psychologist, and this was the first time I'd really heard about limiting beliefs and the subconscious mind and how you are programmed, as you're saying, through early childhood, through your family and society and everything that you're exposed to. And it was great timing for me to do that work because I was pregnant, about to become a parent for the first time, and it really made me think about my role as a mother to my daughter when I had her. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying I'm perfect by any means, but I was aware of the impact because so many people haven't ever come across this or, been introduced to it. And so they are simply living their life and, they're not questioning, well, why do I do that way, or what impact have I had on my child? And it's quite funny because what you said there about parents being the biggest hypnotists, I had a conversation with my parents when I'd done this work and brought some of what came up with them in conversation, and they reacted really badly to it. It's like, so it's my fault, I've damaged you, I've done all of this to you. It's like, no, as you said, it's not intentional, or in most cases, something that may result in a negative limiting behaviour in adulthood hasn't been put there with intention by your parents. It's just them bringing you up. And I loved it when I first did this work. I did become really interested in it, and then I did a lot more self-development work around it after that, and I also did a program of cognitive behavioral therapy, which obviously this all comes up, and you really do examine those belief systems that have been programmed as a child, and try to break some of them down, and replace those. So as you said, the power is there for you. You can change these. The first step then, would you say, is the awareness? Is that where
Yeah,
someone should start? Yeah.
yeah, I would say feeling as well,
Right.
like really going deep in emotions in what's happening in the present moment. If I'm experiencing something that's really painful right now, allowing myself to go into the pain, feel it fully, and then become curious, where is this coming from? And allow myself to be in a state of discovery and curiosity about those fears, those anxieties that I experience today as an adult. Go there fully, dive into it, and become curious. I know it could be a difficult exploration, but allow yourself to go deep into it and invite awareness into where is this coming from? What is the root of it? And then it could be a journey of exploration and healing and growth. And some things could take, one aha moment. Some things could take years. Some things could take a whole lifetime to explore and do the work. And there's beauty in that. And there's so much growth and deeper connection to who we are in that process of feeling how am I today and going deep into it.
Mm. And one of the things that I would say here, and I wonder if you agree with this, is that it isn't always necessary to identify exactly where that belief has come from, because it's not always possible, is it? Sometimes it could be something as small as a tiny comment from a teacher at school that you have no recollection of.
Yeah.
There's events that happen to us, obviously, so many through those first 7 or 8 years that we just don't have a conscious memory of. And so I think unless you're suffering with some kind of deep trauma and you need therapy to help you process and work through that, it isn't always relevant to really try and hone in on exactly what the thing was that created that belief at the beginning. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree. I'm all about forward looking, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about, okay, so what can we do about it? What's next? How can I change how I'm behaving? And you can do that without ever tapping into the past. You can say, I have this fear and I want to
Mm-hmm.
shift it around, and this is where I want to go, and this is who I want to become, and be so focused on the person you want to become, on the things you want to invite into your life, on the emotions you want to feel instead, that you invite them into your life without necessarily going into the past. There is beauty and growth and healing that also happens when you do go into the past, but I do believe that also should be a natural process without a need to be so focused on I want to go back and heal and the trauma. Like, instead of forcing that, I do believe that when the time is right, that opportunity for you to tap into what's needed from the past will present itself, and it will be also smooth and a beautiful journey of exploration where it doesn't feel like I need to figure this out. No, you need to support yourself in growing into the person you're meant to be, and trust and allow that the time that is when it's right, where your heart is open, where you're connected, where you have the right support around you, you will get the answers that are needed. I love this analogy of the tree. The tree has like all of those roots, those very strong roots. And there's a lot of stories. If you think in those roots, it could be the past, the trauma, the ancestors, the generations. But the tree keeps growing. It's not stopping. It's not saying, no, 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 I need to figure it all out. I'm not going to grow into this amazing tree. The tree just grows and grows and grows, and life goes on, and the seasons happen, and it's just experiencing life and it's all its beauty, while the roots are still there, very strong, very deep. and there's no need for the tree ever to go down, and to go down and break its branches and completely release itself from this life to go down into the exploration. No, the tree's just growing. So you can just grow.
And that's a fantastic analogy to give. A tree is something that I've used in a workshop that I've delivered, actually, and talked about it like that, in that you've got those roots and they're there forever. They're part of your story and heritage. And as you say, we can continue to grow. And that's what's really important for people to know, is that you can change, you can plant these new seeds for new beliefs and new systems in your mind, because our brain is plastic, isn't it? We talk about neuroplasticity and the power of the brain being able to change at any stage and age of your life. And that's quite a new discovery as well, isn't it? There's still a lot being researched and uncovered about the power of our brain, because historically it was just thought when you get to this stage as an adult, that's it. Who you are. Yes, you can maybe learn and do a course, but you can't change inherently who you are. But that isn't true, is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the science is saying on that, but I'm a strong believer that irrespective of your age, irrespective of your life circumstances, you definitely have the power to change. I mean, we've seen it. I mean, there's so many examples out there of people changing their lives and healing, even from cancer, just with the power of the mind, like we have so much power, and it's just about taking responsibility and saying, I have the power, and knowing that you have it, and you kind of taking that for yourself, like know that you can do it, and trusting yourself to take the steps towards it.
And so, this podcast is all about living a healthy life and putting new habits in place. And I think this topic we're sharing today is kind of like the umbrella over your whole life and well-being, because your subconscious mind is so powerful. It does run around 95+% of the thoughts that you have every day, and that autopilot sense that you're in. And we hear a lot of people use that term, don't we? I feel like I'm just living on autopilot.
Yeah.
But to then know that you can start to shift this with intention is very empowering, because for so many people who want to change the granular things in their life, like their eating habits or exercise more, or they want to, take up habits like meditation or journaling and getting out for walks or being less stressed, all of those things you think about when you think about health, all of those things only change when you apply the mindset piece. So that umbrella over it all is to, okay, how am I going to change this? Why does this matter to me? How can I create a habit so that becomes an automatic part of who I am? So with this hypnotic state, this way our subconscious mind is, it is a positive thing as well, isn't it? Because we want it to be running the right kind of habits for us and the things that we want to put in place. So is that kind of how it works then with the work you do and what you advocate?
Yeah, 100%. It's all about allowing your mind to visualize a new reality. That's the beginning, right? So your mind is so used to, let's say, a certain pattern, whether it's eating certain food or maybe waking up every day feeling a certain way, feeling stressed or feeling rushed, and then jumping out of bed, rushing to work, and then feeling the sense of anxiety. And then, we're in that program, and the mind is playing it like a movie, and over again on repeat and repeat. So the first step is really to give your mind a new movie to play. And to do that, you have to start by visualizing, how do you want your day to look like? How do you want to wake up feeling? What do you want to be doing in the morning? Okay, I want to wake up 30 minutes earlier and do a bit of exercise, maybe a bit of meditation. Okay, now imagine it. How would it look like? How would you feel when you do it? Imagine how you want your day to look like, and then allow your mind to practice that vision. Right? So by the mind, like you said, this neuroplasticity, by the mind practicing a new reality, it could start, saying, okay, there is a potential there. So I might be open to exploring this new reality, because the mind does not differentiate reality from imagination. So if I'm giving it a movie to imagine, it's gonna already feel like, oh, this feels good. Is this me? This is reality. Your body's gonna start to feel better. And when you actually put in the steps that you want to take to make it happen, like tomorrow I'm going to wake up early, it's going to be easier because you've already imagined it and felt it, and your mind and body are on board with it. So train the mind to imagine the kind of life you want to lead. And then make it easy. Make it easy, like the path of least resistance, basically, to take those steps, right? So change takes time, right? And to change behavior that we've been programmed to repeat for months and years and so on, it takes time. So make it easy to create that change. Find
Yeah.
the path of least resistance, find things that are going to support you. There's many tools there to help, but it's really about making it easy to create the change, small steps first, and then keep going. Show up every day for yourself and remind yourself why do I want to do this? Why do I want to change? Who do I want to become? That's your driver.
Mm. And I love the power of visualization, and everything you've said there is very aligned to the framework that I use in my coaching. And I wish that I'd known you 25 years ago when I was struggling so much with anxiety, although you would have been a child at that point, Jana.
Probably.
But the way
I'm
you've
struggling
explained it
myself.
there,
Yeah.
I really think someone listening is going to be able to get this, because it isn't complicated. It can seem really strange, and I think a bit overwhelming when someone hears this kind of thing for the first time. But the way you've explained it and put it across, because I know this stuff, you've explained it in a very easy to interpret and digest way. So thank you for
Thank
sharing it
you.
like that. And something you touched on at the end there about helping yourself, when you are creating this vision and building this belief system inside of this future version of you and the life that you want to create, is to use other tools and habits to help you build up that strength, that inner strength and physical strength, so that you feel healthy and well and confident in yourself and your abilities. And this brings us on, using a bit of a segue here, to the kundalini yoga and the meditation that you are such an advocate of and obviously trained in. They're types of things that people can use in their toolkit if they fit for them and what they want to have in their healthy lifestyle. They're the kinds of things that then help to support you on this journey of creating new beliefs and a different way of feeling, aren't they?
Yes, definitely. If I go back to my own journey, it all started with meditation. I was in a space that was really like, I was really stuck and experiencing a lot of anxiety, really like not living a healthy lifestyle in any way. And the one thing that I started doing then, again, it was just came to me and I just went with it. It wasn't super planned then, was meditation, yoga meditation. And without understanding what was happening, I got so committed to meditating that suddenly things around me started to change without me really putting a lot of effort. Not saying that effort is not important, but with time, I started to notice, oh, actually, certain friends were just leaving my life, and I was meeting new kind of people that were more aligned. Suddenly, I started to feel like I don't want to stay up late as much because my body is not liking that. So I started to sleep earlier and wake up earlier without me putting the effort much. The only constant thing I was doing was meditating. So, what meditation does is that it's like a shower for the mind. Same as you take a shower for your body every day. Meditation is you showing up every day to clean and clear those unhealthy thoughts, patterns, and subconscious beliefs. Everything that we're talking about in hypnosis, same thing. It's a tool that allows you to do the work every day on your own, and it takes time, so it's not like a magic pill. You do it once and okay, I've shifted everything. But if you do it in a committed manner, again, you will start to see more clearly. You will start to be more committed to the things that serve you, and the things that don't serve you will find their way out of your life, because you are only attracting amazing things that serve uh, your soul, that serves the path that is not cluttered with mental chatter, basically. So this is why for me, meditation is the tool that's going to help you stay focused on who you really are and why you're doing what you're doing, and attract the things that you desire, that your soul desires. You might not know what they are, but they will come into your life with ease when you're doing the work.
And there's
I
so
hope this
many
answers your
different,
question.
yeah, it does. Yeah, I love how passionate you are about meditation and the impact it's had on your journey. And, meditation is becoming a more commonly used word and something people are hearing about more because, again, like hypnosis, it has this story around it, that it's sitting cross-legged and humming and hawing, maybe, with your eyes closed and being in this meditative state. But there's so many different ways to meditate, isn't it? It doesn't have to be a a a meditation that's led with something you've got in your ears that you're listening to while you're doing it. It can just be as simple as you just pausing, say you've got a cuppa and you go outside, if you've got a garden, and you just sit there and just have a few minutes where you just bring your mind into the present and you just slow your mind down, as you say, give it that shower, that pause to clean out your mind. So there's lots of different ways people can gain from meditation depending on what works for them. It's something I've always struggled with, and it's something that I do want to build into my life and the habits that I have, because I know how beneficial it can be in so many different ways. It can even boost your immune system, can't it? So there's lots of pros for doing some form of meditation. And for some people, it can be like running, getting outside and just running without anything playing in their ears and just being really present in the steps they take and listening to the sounds of nature or whatever's around them. So it's finding what works for you and that you enjoy and can build as a habit, isn't it?
100%. Like, there's so many different forms of meditation. If I would recommend something, is at the beginning, if you're just starting, do commit to something. The key is the commitment part, right? So if I say I want to do breathing every day, then do it every day for 3 minutes for 40 days, right? It's the commitment part of the meditation that's going to make the difference. Meditating for 3 hours once a week is not as beneficial as meditating every day for 5 minutes. So it's this, again, showing up for myself every day in that state. And what you're doing in that state is you're slowing your brain waves, you're entering into a hypnotic state where you are clearing unwanted programs and inviting new ones. Really, that's what you're doing. So do it every day, whatever it is. And sometimes you do need guidance. Sometimes at the beginning, you need to learn a few tools of the how. Okay, so focusing on the breath. Okay, let me try this technique. Or maybe chanting a mantra, or whatever serves you. It could be a movement meditation that I'm doing repeatedly. Finding what serves you, but you need a tool that's gonna help you practice the meditation and then commit to it. Give yourself a challenge. 40 days is always nice, 40 days meditation challenge are always exciting, I would
Oh,
say.
there, you've thrown it out there. I might have to take you up on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're right, it's all about the small steps, which I focus on as well. When it comes to any change that you want to make, whether it's for your health or something else in your life, it is about those small steps. And as you said, it's about the commitment and the consistency. And people struggle with that because we want instant gratification when we've made our mind up that we want something. Maybe it's, I'm going to get fit. You just want to be fit straight away, and when it doesn't happen after a week of going to the gym, you lose interest and think, oh, I can't do this is not for me, and you throw the towel in. Whereas taking those small steps, like you said, 5 minutes every day is better than once a week. And that's the same with exercise and healthy eating. If you're going to exercise, go to the gym 3 times a week, but then you sit down for the rest of the weekly hours, that's not really, helping you to build that healthy lifestyle overall. So little and often. And you mentioned earlier your why, and that links to the vision that you're going to create, is really anchoring yourself to why you want that vision, why you want those changes that you're looking for in your life, because that why is what gives and keeps the motivation moving forward. Because we all struggle with motivation, we all struggle with commitment and consistency because life's busy, that's the reality. But it is possible, people are making these changes, and it happens when you know that why and you've got your vision, and as you say, you're really anchoring yourself to that and seeing that and moving gradually closer to it every single day.
Yeah, 100%. Who do you want to become? I always say, like, who do you want to show up as tomorrow, right? And how would that person act? How would they show up? What would they do on a day-to-day basis? What would they say? What wouldn't they say? And be that person now.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole point of this is because we want you to live healthier, and being in a hypnotic state of choice is the power, to building strong health, rather than being in that autopilot mode and living and then constantly, questioning, why am I doing this? I don't like the way that I am here. I don't like how I respond to that. Why am I feeling like this every day? As you said, that analogy of the morning is definitely, story that I had in my past, was every single morning. It's like that Groundhog Day film, and the alarm goes off and you snooze, and it's like, here we go again. And you're straight into that mindset of negativity and lack and so on. So I've loved chatting about this, Jana. It's been really interesting, and I'm sure that we've given people a lot to think about, to think consciously about is the key there. So just to kind of wrap up, before you share where people can find out more about you if they would like to, what's kind of one takeaway tip? I think the simple steps every day is a great one, but it's the one takeaway tip you could leave someone with if they want to build this habit of being more conscious of how they're thinking and behaving.
Yeah, take a moment to really pause and write down in 1 year from now, how would you like your life to look like? Like really take a moment to flesh it out in all aspects of it. How do you want to feel? What kind of person you want to show up as? And let that be your driver. This is what's going to help you create change and not repeat the past over and over again. Have a vision for the future, and then step by step, trust that you have the power in you to find what's needed to allow you to get there. You have everything it takes, but have a clear vision and make it exciting and wake up every day for it.
Brilliant. Yeah. And I know when I do this visioning with clients and with myself, is, as you mentioned, making it a movie, bringing it to life
Yeah.
with sounds, with colour, with, smells, everything. Really make it 3D and very, very vibrant and real, because that's what your brain then really does attach itself to. And as you said, it doesn't know the difference between reality and fiction, and so it can use that vision to help make the different decisions and steps forward towards it.
Oh, for
So that's
sure.
a great tip. Thank you. Yeah. So let everyone know then where they can find you, and if they want to check out
Yeah.
your TED Talk as well.
Yeah, well, the best place to find me is on Instagram. I know, social media girl. Tune in with Jana, or my name, Jana Osta. Yeah, and there you have all resources. You can reach me, you can join me in practicing yoga, meditating, tons of things that you can explore there. So see you on the gram.
Yeah, definitely check that out. Oh, well, thank you so much for your time and sharing all
Thank
of your
you.
knowledge and expertise. I really appreciate it, and it's definitely given me a few things to think about as well.
Oh, that was lovely. Thank you very much for having me, Nicola.
Yeah, you're really welcome. Thank you.